Seguemagic! When I don't know what to say or do, I just get really loud and spastic. So this is a lot like being around me in person, like in offline life too. We've done a pretty poor job of sticking to our schedule, so this video is going to come to you in many recapping, getting us all up to speed parts. Part 1, guilty pleasures. I don't really have a lot to add to everything that Kirsti said about this topic, but I really love her take on the idea that guilty pleasures are somewhat gendered as a phenomenon. This is something that just had never really occurred to me until she brought it up, and I have not been able to stop thinking about it in the 2 weeks or whatever since she posted this video. I will say, however, that I'm a little bit hesitant to completely agree with her in the idea that just you should love things and guilty pleasures are dumb because life's too short. I'm with that idea in theory, but I'm also a big fan of being a critical consumer, and while on the one hand I am more a critical consumer in the sense of what kinds of messages do I think this is disseminating, and are those messages a problem, and so on and so forth, like that's more my jam, but I think that being a critical consumer in a quality sense, in a, you know, how well is this message being told? How well is the story being told? I think that is also important too. So for me, I think guilty pleasures are still somewhat useful because there is a lot to unpack in terms of like, what is it about this that is shitty? Why is this thing shitty? Why do you feel guilty? And then what is it about it that makes you like it even though you've decided that it is shitty for X, Y, and Z reasons? As with a lot of things, it really just depends on how you are using the term, and I think there can be some utility in it. Part 2, my early musical experiences. Kirsti asked me to talk about my first concert and the first CD that I purchased, thinking that they would be like cool and not embarrassing like her answers, but I have been to a lot of concerts over the years, but my very first concert was in 1998. I had 8th row seats to see the Spice Girls with my mom. The first CD that I purchased was either the Aqua CD that had Barbie Girl on it or Marcy's Playground. I acquired both right around the same time, and I'm not sure which one came first, but those were my jams. Part 3, we want to hear from you. This is really the biggest and most important thing, which is why I'm just burying it as part 3 out of 4, because I am really good at structure. Before I get to this week's actual topic, which I'm not gonna have time to really discuss at any length, we want to invite you guys to participate in these conversations. This is super great for those of you doing Vita, because 1 out of 7 of your weekly videos, we are gonna give you a topic. That's really helpful. We are still working out the best way to organize this, but what we would like to see happen is to have other people respond to the topics that we address each week. So every Saturday we would like to do sort of Seguemagic Saturday and have other people upload their videos on these topics. Post those links on Tumblr and Twitter, #Seguemagic, and we will track those tags. Then when Mari does the big topic wrap-up post over on the blog, she will not only mention our videos, but sort of talk about all of the things that people were posting about with regards to these topics. Maybe nobody else will do it and it'll just be the 3 of us, but we would really like to see you guys participate in these conversations. That would be super fun for us and maybe hopefully for you too. Part 4, this week's topic. So in honor of Easter, which was yesterday, this week we're talking about our favorite resurrection stories. The first 2 things that come to mind for me are Buffy the Vampire Slayer season 1 finale, Prophecy Girl. I cannot say enough times how much I love the line, "I may be dead, but I'm still pretty." There are a lot of resurrection stories in the Buffyverse, but that one is definitely my favorite. And my own Easter festivities, alone in my apartment, included watching The Fifth Element while baking peanut butter chocolate chip cookies. We're technically late with this topic, but you can totally celebrate Jesus' bonus birthday anytime you want if you're into that kind of thing, and these are the ways that I recommend you do that. Kirsti, I cannot wait to hear your recommendations on Wednesday.